So, hi guys, welcome to my podcast. And today I'm going to introduce this guy here. What's your name?
All right, my name is Arale. I come from the Catholic University of Atmajaya, Indonesia, and I'm in my fourth semester right now.
So me and Arali were actually friends from middle school. So today we're gonna talk about how the internet affects real life society and culture. So, do you have any opinions on this, Arali?
All right, so I think one way we can approach this discussion is by talking about the pros and cons of the internet and how it's affected society and culture, right? Like you said. I think one thing that's been quite a drastic change from when my dad was still in college, still in high school in the US. There hasn't been as much school shootings as there have been uh, in the past as it is like in the current situation, because you have school shootings everywhere, right? I think it's mostly because how the internet, like how TikTok, how the news portrays school shootings, right? It's as if through the internet, right? School shootings have become normalized, right? And people see it as a way to get revenge, right, on people that they do not like,
Yeah.
right? And I also think perhaps this is not just based on the fact that there is the internet now, but I think terrorism has also become like something that's becoming increasingly common than it was in the past as well, right? So what do you think about that?
So that's actually interesting because I have noticed. Have you heard the recent news about like let's say extremist online groups where like some people you use Discord, right? I think
Yeah,
everyone here
yeah.
knows what Discord is. So recently in the news there's been this Discord group, and basically what they did is they leaked documents from like the military, from like the US military.
Really?
Yeah, they leaked that. And do you think like those types of groups are the ones to like sort of push like that idea? Not just like, but the internet allows like those different people, or like those like same types of people from like different places to like connect in one place. Cause like before the internet, you didn't really have that, right? Like yeah, you had like one person maybe in like one city who's like kind of extremist, right? Kind of like
Right.
insane, and then you have another person in another city who's also like that. But those people couldn't really like meet up with each other. They couldn't really discuss. They couldn't really talk about stuff. And now, after the internet is a thing, they can't do
Right,
that.
yeah.
So like what you said about the school shooting is actually interesting because like online there's usually like people who like they actually encourage the kids who want to do the school shooting to actually do it. Where it's like back then it must be like if you talk about someone like, oh, I want to I want to shoot up the school, they'll be like, no,
Right.
no, don't do it, right? But now in the
Yeah.
with the internet, because there's like a lot of insane people on the internet,
Right.
they'll be like, oh yeah, go do it, bro, go do it. So like, do you think that's also part of the issue, right? With the internet, it's like the connectivity.
Right, yeah, because like the thing about the internet, right, is that it allows people to connect with each other,
Uh-huh.
right? This does not just mean like intelligent, smart people, people with good intentions can connect with each other, but also bad people can connect with each other, right? And that's why you have like the dark web, like people doing illegal stuff, because that wasn't exactly a thing, like let's say 50 or 100 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I think of course, the internet has brought us a lot of tangible benefits, right? Aside from the cons, like the maybe planned school shootings, encouraging kids to do bad things, right? Like I don't think we would have crypto if we didn't have internet first, right?
What's your opinion on crypto?
I think crypto will become the next form of currency, right? I think that it's something that people should be looking into, right? Although it has its ups and downs, right? Although it has its ups and downs, it's not as centralized as government issued money,
Mm.
right? And what I mean by centralized is that there's if you look at the 2011 financial crisis, you would notice and you would see that it's actually the fault of these central banks, right, that keep pushing out money, right, until suddenly a financial crisis happens, right, and everything's in absolute mess, right, total mess,
Huh.
right, and this I don't think this would happen with crypto, right, because it solves this issue. Right, crypto was made to solve this issue with the central banks, which is why I think it's part of the future.
So you think like the internet can spread these kinds of ideas, like the
Yeah, of course.
like crypto, like
Yeah.
some of these ideas that you can't really do without the internet, right? Like
Yeah. Like I don't think Satoshi's white paper of Bitcoin would have been as popular, right? As wouldn't have been popularized, right, without the use of the internet.
So the internet, basically, you're saying is like the internet. It allows people to spread their ideas more. It allows
Of
them,
course.
yeah,
Of course.
and also it allows some technology, which you can't do it without a computer or the internet
Yeah, of course.
to spread. So, what do you think about people causing like fake drama online? Like how like sometimes when people, when some internet celebrities, when they wanna like when they wanna
Right.
spread, when they wanna be more popular, they start making like fake drama. Maybe they'll
Right.
like put their community against another community, and cause in the internet there's a saying, right, like every publicity is good publicity. There's no such thing as bad
Right.
publicity, right?
Right.
So what do you think about that?
I think that saying is quite accurate, quite true. There is no such thing as bad publicity, right? Any publicity is most likely going to be good publicity,
Yeah.
right? But I do think there's a lot of unnecessary conflict going on in the internet, like for the sake of popularity, right, and publicity, including the ongoing debate and argument with toxic masculinity and femininity, right? Debates surrounding religion, right? That has always been around, but it's you just see it more often.
Yeah,
in the
you
social
notice.
media nowadays.
Yeah, you notice nowadays there's more like arguments just between like not even if we take out like the feminism and all that, like
Yeah.
even just from different groups in general.
Yeah.
You notice like nowadays like the internet celebrities, most e-celebs, they're trying to like they're trying to like divide people. So have you noticed that where it's like, oh, men versus women, or like straight people versus gay people, or like like Muslim versus Christian gitu. Like even the whole Muslim versus Christian thing is right now it's Ramadan, and that's been like I've noticed that when surfing through the Instagram, the amount of like religious arguments going on it's crazy. It's even like in the internet. Even only like 10 years ago, that wasn't really too prevalent. So like,
Right.
what's your opinion on that? Why do you think that happens?
I think it's such an odd, but it's such an odd occurrence that something that was meant to bridge a distance between people, right? Connect people with each other, is making such a divide, right, between communities, between different people, simply because that we have different opinions, we have different ideologies, surrounding everyday things,
Yeah.
right? Which is just sort of a very interesting topic for people to think about,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why exactly that happens, but I think it's just people being people,
Just people being people.
yeah, just people being people. That like we've had like conflicts in the past, right? The internet just puts gas over it.
Yeah.
And spreads it everywhere. It's like a wild forest fire.
Yeah. So, if if you think like if you could change anything about the internet just to make it more like a positive place, more like not so many arguments, not all this drama and all these troubles that come from the internet, what would you do?
I I'm not exactly sure what I would change, because I think the way the internet is right now, the status quo, is already good enough for most people. I mean, you can literally just study from your computer, anything you would need otherwise in a college degree, right? Like people can just start studying about, like, for example, psychology, right, from their laptops, from their comforts of their home, without even like going to college,
And-
which is a big positive.
And yeah, I think like the COVID-19 pandemic that kind of proved that like digital stuff is kind of taking over, because like before COVID-19, like that wasn't really a thing. Like no one knew what Zoom was. No one knew
Right.
that
Right.
like the online school before COVID-19 was like
Right.
you're crazy, like
Yeah.
that couldn't happen. But now it has happened. So yeah, like just things like that, right?
Yeah. I th- I think one change I might consider is changing the internet the internet system to an intranet system, right?
Intranet.
Where it's basically like isolated internet, right, from like country to country. I think it still has its cons, like
Yeah.
you won't be able to connect with other countries,
Other
right?
countries.
We would basically be like North Korea,
Yeah, North Korea.
North Korea. It's like all isolated, but it would technically you would technically have like less conflicts, between people,
Yeah.
right? Because the scale would be smaller.
The scale would be small. Do you think it's maybe it's good to have maybe the internet, the whole internet, and
Yeah.
then maybe the country's internet? Do you think that's a good idea, having both?
Uh, I mean, it's a fun thing to think about, but just thinking about like how isolating the bigger picture, the internet, from other people would just affect society. It's definitely not a good idea. Maybe.
Not a good idea.
Yeah. Is the whole thing I think I was talking about internet was just like a fun little
Just a
Yeah,
fun
idea.
little idea project.
yeah,
Yeah.
my project.
Okay, so I think that's it.
All right.
Thank you, Aroli, for being part of my
Yeah.
my podcast,
Yeah.
and thank you all for listening. And goodbye.
Yeah. Thank you.